We live in a culture that prizes individualism. It cherishes autonomy and self-determination. Normally, people are quite proud to pronounce that they are their own boss. No one can tell them what to do. Yet in these strange new days that have dawned with the pandemic, days when a not well understood or predictably behaved virus threatens well-being, and even the lives of many, the majority of people seem more open to be a bit more docile, to take their lead from others, indeed to follow advice given by medical experts who instruct on how to avoid becoming ill, or to obey the counsel of government leaders as they set policy to stop the spread of disease. Whether we agree 100% with what we are told, or we can discern some ego and some self-interest on the part of those who are now calling the shots for us, still, because we don't really know where we're going, we've never been in this situation before, we trust that they are leading us to where we want to go, which is to a disease-free future where life can and will return to what we once knew to be normal. And so we are more than willing to listen and to follow. We can judge the truth of this trend by our gut reaction when we venture out and might see people in stores without masks or socializing in public parking lots from a not-so-safe distance. And we get rather perturbed with those nonconformists. We realize that in the face of such an overwhelming crisis, we really don't know how to get where we want and need to go. So we will readily surrender our prized autonomy and follow how and where others are telling us to go for our good and that of others. We will let the medical experts and the government authorities, whom we concede as knowing more than we do in this instance, to tell us what and how to do what we need to do in order to get to our goal, which is to find ourselves alive and well at the end of this when things get back to normal. This current situation then provides a very fitting analogy to our ultimate destiny and our desire to see it. Because as our opening prayer reminds us, for those of us who have been baptized into Jesus Christ, our goal is to enjoy the abundant and endless life that He promises to us in God's eternal kingdom. A life unavailable to us in this imperfect world that we now are well reminded is fraught with all the D's, disasters, diseases, disabilities, decline, and death. The D's that have the potential to disturb, disrupt, and ultimately destroy life. Yet Jesus has been sent by the Father. He has appeared among us as the divine Son of God, setting aside the privilege of His divinity in order to share in the limits and the burdens of our humanity, and in the process to redeem these and to restore us through His resurrection from death to the hope of life in abundance to be lived without end. Indeed, we do not arrive at that abundance and perfection of life on our own. It is not something that we can work autonomously to attain or even create for ourselves in some way. Rather, it is God's gift, and to receive it, we must follow the voice of the one who promises to provide it, the only one who can and will. That is the Good Shepherd, indeed the perfect shepherd, the one who shows us the way to where we want to go, but does so untainted by temptations to self-aggrandizement nor with any ulterior motives, but rather purely out of love that is unconditional. The Good Shepherd calls us each by name and invites us to follow him where he wants to lead us, which is to his eternal home. So as in the present days, we readily depend on human shepherds with their not always perfect knowledge or counsel, and sometimes not the purest motives, to take us where we wish to go in the short term, indeed, from this life of confinement back to normal again. So let us trust even more in the Lord, who has spared neither his divine life nor his own human life in order to lead us where he wants to take us, and where we would be wise to want to go in the long term, which is to that eternal kingdom where he assures us we will have life and have it even more abundantly.